All right. We back.
Fly wings.
Hello, family.
Back. So we had one 1.5 good week.
Get back behind the thing, Officer Licious.
And then that damn David Ophir kicked in.
But he was on time.
Huh?
He was on time.
So he was on time?
David
On time
Ophir.
to sabotage the
Yeah, on time to break our stuff.
with his tiny headphones on.
See, that what happened. You brought
That glow
Ethan.
up.
You brought Soldier Ethan, Officer Arrell. That's what happened. You supposed to.
Officer RL wasn't here last week, and David Ophir was not on the tech team
And
last
Sis
week.
not here
At
today.
all.
He's been on the camera, right?
He's been on the camera. I don't know how he upgraded. How we fired like 5 brothers last week, and Officer Lisha hires another one.
He's drawing power from his headphones.
Them headphones, bro, do take a lot of energy, right?
I
there.
see.
And look,
He was
you got
supposed to be
you
on
got-
camera. That was his.
So how he get back there?
Right.
We need security to sit at the end of that.
If you've been David Ophir, zoom in.
Zoom in,
If you
man.
ever been David Ophir in your life, zoom in.
He on the Zoom in.
Yeah, he on the
He on the Zoom. He on the Zoom. That's his
Oh,
position.
Jesus.
You talking about zoom in? He was like, the hell?
I bet you don't.
I wish I would answer your call.
Yo, when your headphones light up,
But
did
you
that mean
know-
somebody calling?
But this going on today remind me of like how class was going yesterday.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Deacon Asaph
Yeah.
and Deacon Malachi too, man. All
Great
praise.
class. Great class.
Deacon Yahshua as well. I didn't see who taught the 12.
I didn't see 12.
Captain Benzion.
Oh, Captain Ben.
No,
No,
No, that
that
was
was
9
Oh, that was
o'clock.
9 o'clock. You're
9
right. I'm sorry.
I was still asleep.
Who taught the 12 o'clock?
Because I watched Friday Night Raw, so I be up.
Who? Somebody say it in the comments. Who
The
taught?
comments know.
Yeah, the comments.
they know
know.
it.
Comments like.
Make sure you share the
The peanut
feed. Share the
gallery.
feed. We got cut off. We got David Ophir.
Right.
So make sure you share the feed. Let's get those numbers back up. We about to start going into.
Yeah, mine's still playing the intro.
Mine too.
Mine keep jumping.
No.
backwards.
Y'all in the wrong stream.
Okay.
You sure?
Nah, I did say Deacon Yahshua.
Yeah. Deacon
Deacon
Malachi
Malachi
did 12.
12. Okay, all
Deacon
praise, all
Yahshua did
praise.
3.
Yes.
Yeah. Deacon
Yes.
Asaph did
It
6.
say
All
420
praises.
people watching this, and I can't watch it.
Yeah.
All praises. All praises.
Oh, there we go. We back.
Okay, we back. All praise to the Most High. Shout out to David Ophir.
And his headphones.
So
Ophir.
there is a lot to cover. So we're gonna try to get through it all, Lord willing. Can you call out what was the Candace Owens again? What did she say?
Fire.
Huh?
About the transmission.
Okay. All right, go down.
Her transmission.
Mm-hmm.
She got a Dodge.
Go down. Because Sister, damn, we don't have that much here though. We went through a lot, but Sister Alma just made a point while we were off the air, and she said she's learned more from like PSR, IUIC collectively than she's learned in the world. And I agree 100%. 100%, because also Carmela just made a comment, like with our bishops and deacons, like some of the books that they bring out, the articles they bring forth, like when you're in a bookstore, what made you go down the aisle
But not
that
even
got
that.
the
yeah.
history of the Jews?
Not even that. So you get the book, and
Yeah.
then you know exactly where to go in
Right,
the book.
right,
Like,
right.
No,
only
bro,
do
you
know the
had
book,
to
but you know
skim
what-
through
you
that
gotta
book and be
read
like,
it.
Right.
like, how, is that the spirit of the Lord? Say, yeah, go to page 36. That's fire.
Yes. Yes.
You just open the book and like, damn, page
it's there.
36 is fire.
How many times have we looked at like mosaic or old art and just look at it overall, but they're picking out the black slave way in the back, and you see
Right.
the yoke of iron around his neck. Like, I didn't even see that.
You
guy.
like 1426.
movie.
Look.
Or like the
A
picture
movie
that
that
they
I've
showed
seen.
yesterday that had the brace on his leg.
I've never
seen that picture
seen
so
that.
many
I
times.
never
I never
saw
saw
that.
it.
I never.
I've
What
seen
I
that
think the
picture.
chain was.
No, he had it on
million.
his neck, but he had the brace on his
No,
leg.
I saw the
leg.
brace on his leg and his
Never
knee.
saw that.
I didn't pay attention to that damn anchoring ass chain that
Yeah.
could hold a damn
A ship that
a ship. I was like, bro, they trying to anchor a damn boat to a dock. What they got this kind of chain is that, bro? What the hell? But then he started. I'm
Surely
looking
that's
at
the
all
spirit
the
of the
little
Lord,
pictures. I'm
man.
like, if you look when he was like, look at all the hands on the ground. I was like, look at this, all the noses
Right.
on
Yeah, I
the
saw the
ground.
noses,
Then I'm
yeah.
like, look in the background. They throwing
Yep.
niggas off a mountain. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like, Jesus.
Art imitate life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that
Hey,
thing was crazy.
So again, we've learned an immense wealth of knowledge through the wisdom that the Lord has placed on our leadership. So
That's
all praise to
right.
the Most High for that.
I think the script says a good understanding have all they keep the commandments. So it's like you keep the commandments, Most High just start giving you information. Like here you go, take this, take this,
Just trip over some knowledge, like, ooh.
and you just find, and then you just bring it out to the people.
Facts.
Did you know?
Let's go to Baruch. I believe it's chapter. I'll look at it. Chapter 3, is it?
Verse 36.
Yes.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 36.
Come on.
He hath found out all the way of knowledge.
So now, the Lord that stretched forth the heavens, that knows the number of the stars, that knows the number of the hairs on your head, he knows all the ways of knowledge. Go ahead.
And have given it unto Jacob,
He's done it. He's given it to Jacob. Go ahead.
his servant, and to Israel, his beloved.
Now, all the ways of knowledge, that's what we're talking about. The history, the correlation between who are the real Israelites. Because I remember before the truth, that was a question I had. I was like, how these people are God's people, but they're blessed now abundantly, and they're gonna get the kingdom? It was almost like we're defeated.
Right.
That was the mindset. Like, what's the point?
Right.
Because they're getting it all, and no one was ever able to answer that for me. Nobody. And as soon as I came in that's why I resonated so well. Because once I sat down, I watched my first video. I was like, oh, where they at?
Right.
Because that was a question that the Lord had turned it in my mind for quite a while. I remember I asked my moms. I'm asking mad people. Nobody can
Were you
answer.
ever around them in New York?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You would see them.
So
all
you
the
saw
time.
them in New York?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You would see them.
Because I had never seen them in person.
And they keep to themselves. They don't. And I would say the Hasidics, the ones that wear the black coats and stuff, they were usually in there. You would see them. You would still see them, but it was the others with the little hat.
Okay.
You see, they're more common than the ones
Right,
in
the small,
all
yeah.
black, because I think they're like two different fractions or whatever, two different devils.
Same devil, different
devil,
levels.
yeah. But my point is, so you would see them and you hear that they owned everything. They owned all the buildings. They owned it all. I was like, man, how they got everything. So how is it that they're gonna be blessed by God in heaven?
Right.
So I was like, so my mind was, what do we have?
But Cap, when you say that makes me think like how you say back to the videos. That was me. Like I went to church every Sunday. I wasn't getting nothing out of it, but I'm like, damn, where else I'm gonna go? Like, what else I'm gonna do? That's what I was brought up doing. And the first video I saw was America's Witchcraft. Now I came upon that because I couldn't spell Illuminati. My son told me something. My son told me something about Illuminati, and I couldn't spell it. I'm like, Illuminati, well, that's witchcraft. And I saw America's Witchcraft. And the bishops came out, and before you heard them say anything, they were speaking. They were like, if you're getting the gospel any other way, you're getting a watered down version of the truth.
I remember that.
Yeah, and in my mind, I'm like, I know God. What you talking about? So I'm watching 58 Minutes Changed My Life. The next day I went to church. I'm like, these people, the goddamn devil.
They the devil.
And I ain't never go back. I'm like, they are the devil. But again, one video, 58 minutes, stuff I had never seen in my life. You broke down $1. Y'all had visuals. I'm like, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I had asked the pastor a question one time, and he did a whole sermon about me.
Damn, Satan!
Because when they come, Satan comes with a plethora of questions.
He said,
that guess what? Your spirit ain't ready for y'all. Don't hear me.
Nah, he said, don't ever think you know more than your pastor.
Wow.
He said,
Wow.
don't ever think you know more than your pastor.
And that's what I love about you guys. 'Cause
We can't go
the whole
we can't go
class.
past that. I'm sorry, sis.
okay.
He said, never think you know more than your pastor.
Yeah.
That was the whole class. The
Wow.
sermon was about.
Y'all
That
don't
was
hear me.
it was
crazy.
like a 10-15 minute part of what he was talking. I don't even remember what he was talking about, but I remember when he got to
And
that
does
part.
anybody ever remember what the pastor's talking
Never.
about?
Never.
I remember because it was the same sermon every 3 Sunday. He had like 3, and he just was rotating.
Right.
And rolling.
Some of them have like notebooks, a curriculum. Like you go through each day, each week you will have a subject that you go over. So it's
Seventh-day
like,
Adventists do that
yeah,
too.
It's called
faking it.
something.
David Ophir.
It's like a
It's called David
I forgot the publisher's name. It's the publisher's name, like the Weissman's service book, something like that. I got the picture in my head, but I don't remember the exact.
two of those.
But it has the sermons for Easter, for
Right.
Christmas.
And
It
all
has
that.
the full breakdown of what you teach on them days. They got a playbook.
But again, that's what drew me to IUIC, because every day I watched it, I seen they brought out another scripture. It wasn't no singing. They brought out a scripture. I'm like, damn, that's in the Bible. Like everything is in the Bible. It's a very big book.
Right.
And prior to that, I knew like 5 scriptures.
Right.
And you didn't even know what it was at.
Didn't even know what they really meant.
Didn't know it. I know you didn't know where they was at. You could
Absolutely
probably
not.
regurgitate them, but you don't know where they at.
Absolutely not. But again, like Cap say, you see these people and you wonder to yourself, like, again, just so many things was confusing. But when when they brought out Revelations 2:9, that they're not the Jews. Wait a minute, if they not the Jews, who is the Jews?
right.
Now you got my undivided attention, because
Right.
I always thought they was the Jews.
Right.
And this in the book.
Right. Hey, what is that one far right? Next one down. What is that? Who? Okay. All right.
Swan flu?
No, you can't talk about that kind of stuff.
Damn. Go up a little
You're
bit.
gonna get us a flag.
Right.
2.
Let's play. What's that one at the top right there? Straight up. No, next one over.
Oh, that one. Oh,
What's that?
The
A
inappropriate
racist
one?
bake sale.
Let's play that. Found this extremely interesting.
Oh, different versions.
What was his name again?
That's not Geraldo?
Nah, that's not Geraldo.
Who is that?
Okay, let's play it.
John Stamos?
We have different prices here. If you're Asian, $1.50. If you're white, $1. If you're Latino or black, 50 cents.
That's not right.
You got to be out of your goddamn mind. Boy, slow down.
Is the cupcake poison?
I'm trying to make amends for racism and punish the Asians because they have an advantage. They have such high SAT scores.
No, that's not true. Because I had an Asian student in my class that was dumb as a cardboard.
I love it.
That's stereotyping.
It is stereotyping.
Stereotyping. That's not right.
Affirmative action is supposed to help minorities that have been discriminated against. But Latinos and blacks who saw my sign didn't like it.
That makes me feel bad. Because I'm both Latino and black.
Should I not do this because it might hurt people's feelings?
Not only it should hurt people's feelings, but it's just like out of sense of respect.
It's very hurtful. It's very demeaning.
Cap.
We always worrying about somebody else.
We might need to play it again.
Yeah. We
I don't want to play it
I
again.
think we might need to play it again because what it is, he did an experiment. He has cupcakes where so-called blacks had to pay less for the cupcakes than whites and Asians.
I want all the cupcakes. Give them to me.
So he said that blacks were going to pay 50 cents. I think Latinos was 75. Whites was $1. Asians $1.75. So the other nations were going to pay more than what we paid for the exact same thing.
I think it's reasonable.
Okay, so let's play it again so it doesn't go over everybody's head.
I want all the cupcakes.
We have different prices here. If you're Asian, $1.50. If you're white, $1. If you're Latino or black, 50 cents.
That's not right.
You got to be out of your goddamn mind. Boy, slow down.
Is the cupcake poison?
I'm trying to make amends for racism and punish the Asians because they have an advantage. They have such high SAT scores.
No, that's not true. Because I had an Asian student in my class that was dumb as a cardboard.
That's stereotyping.
It is stereotyping.
Stereotyping. That's not right.
Affirmative action is supposed to help minorities that have been discriminated against. But Latinos and blacks who saw my sign didn't like it.
That makes me feel bad. Because I'm both Latino and black.
Should I not do this because it might hurt people's feelings?
Not only it should hurt people's feelings, but it's just like out of sense of respect.
It's very hurtful. It's very demeaning.
So many things there.
It's so much to dissect.
So much stuff there.
Because this reminds me of when we're on the street teaching. You're teaching God's people. You say, well, we're not here for nobody else. We're here for you. The kingdom is promised to you.
You're the greatest.
Our people don't want it. Nope. They don't want it.
The hell is
What
this?
about
Go ahead.
this person? No, they always ask about other people. What about this man? What about this man?
But we not
they
good,
said it's
though.
demeaning to have an advantage?
We ain't got no money.
The
Asians and Esau got the money.
Is it just?
If they don't want it, I'll take it.
But even before the truth, I used to see that. Like I saw the disparities between the people, and I didn't understand it. And I used to think, how they gonna get it? How is there like heaven? How they gonna get there with all the evil that they do? The Bible, the prophets made it make sense. Now I understand. It ain't for them. You're not gonna be there. This yours.
I don't know why they mad at
I just had this same conversation last Sunday. We went to the thing at Piedmont Park last Sunday, right? Yeah. So we had the table set up. And one of the brothers, he wanted that fake equality so bad. Read Deuteronomy 7:6 so many times. I think at least 5 times that you're above all people on the face of this earth. But then we don't want it.
We don't want
Even when somebody like said, I'm gonna help you. I don't want it because you didn't charge me the same thing you charged the white man, the so-called white man. They didn't care about that Asian. I'm telling you right now.
They don't give two damn.
They didn't give a damn about that Asian. They cared that you didn't charge them the same as they dad. Can I get script? Let me get Jeremiah 13:10. Cause this part, right? Like, cause this is our mind. We don't want what God have for us. We don't want the kingdom. We don't want to be the best on the earth. Right. We would rather debase ourselves than actually say, I'm better than you. Or even walk and move in that direction. Go ahead, 10.
Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 10. This evil people, which refuse to hear my word.
This is us. We are evil. We are people that refuse to hear what God got to say about who we are. Whether he's saying you great, whether he's saying I love only you, whether he's telling you that my word is only for you. He said we won't listen. We won't listen to nothing, Reed.
Which walk in the imagination of their heart.
So we start going with this foolishness. This is wrong because I'm half Latino and black and you're stereotyping.
I don't think we even know what that stuff means.
Right.
Catchphrases.
We have no clue.
Catchphrases.
We have no clue.
That's all it is. Read on.
And walk after other gods.
That's us debasing ourselves. For us to walk after other gods, to not walk in the truth of who the Most High God said we are, who Christ said we are. Like you walking after, we might as well just be in idolatry to the white man. That's essentially what it is.
That's what it is.
You are idolatrous to this man. He's the great one. Treat me the same as you treat him, but then you go beg him to treat you nice.
Right.
Now here's the thing. So the man that's doing the experiment, he's like a news anchor. He's doing the experiment. That same man's people have told you that you're nothing.
That's what I was thinking.
He's been telling you for centuries you're nothing. Damn. Now that same man is standing before you and said, I know I treated you like nothing. So we know it's nothing, but an advantage. We are so destroyed, we don't even want to reverse what they've done to us.
Right.
On any level. We're like, wait, no. You have a 200-year head start. I don't want to be brought up to that same running
starting point
pace with you. No, I want to still start at the back.
Right.
200 years before.
And then beg.
And then beg you for reparations.
They ain't gonna even want the reparations.
Now, by no means am I comparing this to what they really owe us.
Right.
But it's something even as simple as a freaking cupcake. Yeah. So how the hell you want reparations?
Because it is, Cap. It's a micro. How you say microcosm? Like a small. It's a small little world that simulates what it would actually be. Okay, we're using cupcakes, but we're saying, okay, you pay less because you got screwed over.
Right.
Damn.
I don't want that.
Damn.
I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So what happened when they do if they actually did that?
So now, didn't they just do away with
they did. Yes,
so
absolutely.
Now,
affirmative action is gone like 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, you about to lose your job.
So now you saw them. I don't think we went over it, but they're now up in a hissy fit talking about they're taking away a certain advantage that we were able to go to all of these schools, so on and so forth, or get into some of these fields, some of these jobs. Now Esau's like, okay, because we did the cupcake test,
that part,
and y'all asses failed, that means we don't need affirmative action anymore.
And you don't need reparations.
Now Negroes is like, how are we going to get into Harvard? Well, I guess it's by our own merit. Do you see what inner city schools look like?
Right. Prisons.
Do y'all see the metal detectors? Do y'all see the police that are there? Do you see the fights that happen every day?
Bad.
Glorilla went there. Not Glorilla. What's her name?
Pound Town girl.
Yeah, Pound Town.
Booty hole
girl. Went to that school and they lost their damn minds.
But why they invited her to the school? That's another conversation.
So to keep it in this condition that it's in.
Need all of you to your booty
keep
holes
them in that exact condition that they are in.
But even with the cupcake thing, Cap, to me, it's like they playing a Jedi mind trick anyway, because Esau has done more than anybody.
Esau has done. Go ahead.
Esau has done more than anybody. So how you put the Asians on top? You've benefited more than anybody on planet Earth. Why are the Asians at the top? You're talking about SAT scores.
Right.
Slick.
Right.
They didn't want to put themselves because make you know that they the devil.
I was just about to say he's slick and he know I can't put myself as.
So is this an abandoned school or is it an actual school?
Well, it's still a basketball in there.
Yeah, they got
Detroit.
It's
inside Detroit's failing public school systems.
Yeah, Detroit is
Detroit bad.
Detroit is a hole in the roof.
But you got to think of, like I said, any advantage that we can have as a people, we really don't want it, because think about it. We're talking about equality and turning the other cheek for so damn long. Now you're telling us, listen, we're gonna give you the same advantage that we got. You're like, nah. I want to stay behind.
But that has to be a destroyed
and
mind.
big.
Because you know, like how they say with us with redlining. So you're in Esau's neighborhood. Esau might pay $100,000 for the house. You pay $250,000 for the house. You know you paying $250,000, but you happy about it. Like that's crazy.
Right? I got myself here.
No, I don't want to pay $250,000.
Get yourself here. I charge you more. Yeah, but I paid it
just
on
to
my
say
own.
you did it and you kill yourself to keep it.
You
like that's
dumbass.
crazy. It's crazy. It's a destroyed mind.
Black people got a point to prove.
Yeah, that part.
That's what it is. They got a point to prove and said, listen, I had all these disadvantages for so many years, and you've looked at me as inferior for so many years, so I don't want your handouts.
I want to show you.
Right, I want to show you what I can do. Yeah.
Jeremiah 4:22.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish.
So the Lord tells us the type of mindset that his people have. We're foolish. We're simple, we're silly. And the Lord, like we were going over earlier with the bishops and deacons teaching, like the older videos, what it did to our spirits and things of that nature, is because they're trying to help us leave that foolish state, that foolish way of thinking. Because I remember one time at camp, we were reading Revelation 13 and 10 that the nation Esau gonna go into captivity, and a brother was like, "Oh no, that ain't right." That was his thought. That ain't right.
It's not right.
That ain't right. We was like, "Yo, listen, you don't want the Lord to bring justice upon the people that did so much atrocious things to our people?" No, man, we can't. We're like battered and abused rape victims.
Damn. Yeah. Like, what do you mean like?
We are.
Yeah. That was
we still sore. We still sore from the whipping. Yeah, exactly. So, and you saw Deacon ASAP brought out the pictures showing the brother's back.
Yeah.
I think Will Smith played him in that.
Emancipation.
Yep. You see the scars. We're gonna go through some stuff today. You're gonna see the scars from slavery that we still suffer today. Damn. We still suffer these scars today. It's post-traumatic slave syndrome. Every other traumatic experience has therapy except slavery.
But us.
Everything else. Guess what Amalek's therapy was? They got billions of dollars. They have neighborhoods. They have hospitals. They have their own police force. They have their own military state.
They actually had real therapy, and they get to claim PTSD for the trauma that they grandparents went through.
Yes. And it's a proven fact that trauma is hereditary. Trauma is hereditary.
Contagious, damn near.
So every rape victims get trauma, kidnapping victims get trauma, police and police shootings get trauma, get therapy. All of these various traumatic experiences, there's a therapy for it. There's a therapist for it. Some of them may come through your union or your job or whatever, but what do they call it? Employee assistance. They have employee assistance program. You go sit down and talk to a therapist if you're going through a divorce. They have all of this different type of therapy. They have none for what we went through. The most traumatic experience and known to man. There's no therapy for.
You know the crazy part, Cap?
None.
They've proven that, like you said, that the trauma is passed down. They know this for facts. Everybody, but they'll tell the blacks and Hispanics, none of you were alive when that happened.
Yes.
But they've already proven it through other people's that, yes, this trauma is passed down to the following generations. So you have to have therapy for it. But when it comes to our trauma, then none of you were alive when it happened. And none of us were alive when it happened. We just happened to keep all of the stuff.
Remember we played the video. Remember the monkeys?
About the
cartoon.
Where they spray them?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the new monkeys that came in, they never experienced the spraying. They followed suit.
This a new. They did it again recently.
The monkeys that were there whipped his ass. You gonna follow what we doing?
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that we do that we call culture is trauma based. Like being in the house for the street lights come on, get your ass whipped. No, your mom and them did that because they was catching y'all ass at dark
and killing you.
So now your trauma response was be in the house for the street lights come on.
Right.
Damn,
that's true.
I never thought about that. I use that street light come on at camp all the time. I never thought about that.
Like you be like, bro, our whole existence is. So I ended up talking to my mom last night. I was coming from one of the brothers' house, and I told Siri to call my wife, but it called my mom. I said, Siri, call my wife. It called my mom. So I ended up talking to my mom, and I had saw a post on Instagram, and it said, ask 7 questions to ask your mom before it's too late, right? So I asked my mom these questions to see, and one of the questions, and it's just because of the trauma, I said, one of the questions was, what's one thing that you want me to know before once you're gone? And she said, I only wanted to protect you from being killed because I knew what they did to black men or boys. So she was like, whenever I was telling you to shut up all the time, it's not that I didn't want you to talk. It was that I wanted you to learn how to shut up if you were ever encountered by white people or the police.
That's called Willie Lynch. That's the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Right. But it's all trauma based. Yeah. It's all trauma based. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, it's not that I didn't, want you to, because experience or do things, I wanted you to always be safe. And I was like, you taught me fear trying to protect, thinking that you were protecting me. But everything that she thought that she was doing good was because she was afraid that the world would kill me.
Did she ever see that happen, like in her family with men? Or was it indirect?
It was probably indirect because my uncles was
Savannah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My mama from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got 10.
She got 10.
Mama got 10.
My mama from Brooklyn.
Hey, real quick, just show that brother's back real quick.
Damn.
Just show his back. Look at that. You telling me that those who were there weren't traumatized by his whipping.
Oh yeah,
whippings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. That's how you got everybody else to stay in line.
Yep.
The children weren't traumatized by that.
Of course.
So then they go forth and have children. That fear that was instilled in them from this, they said, I'm never going to cross that line because I never want my back to look like this. And they teach their children the same. They teach their children that same fear, that anxiety.
Yeah.
Where do you think that come from?
Your mama was scared, so she taught you to be scared.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let's look at some results of that, right? Play the next one over to your left. Let's play some results of that. Yeah, play that.
Damn,
Kevin
that's
Samuels.
crazy.
Let's play that.
Somebody said bring back Kevin Samuels.
That's what I titled it.
See, you fight dirty.
Raise this nigga up.
And what I'm hearing is you talk to your man like a woman.
No.
Oh yeah, you do.
Stop. We got to do play by play.
Slow-mo.
Kevin Samuels told his sister, "You talk to your man like a woman," and she said, "No." It baffles because the dynamic, just like we were going over with some brothers last night. One thing I can say for certainty: the spirit of charity is taught.
That's true.
Is taught.
That's true.
So we come into the truth, and that's what you were mentioning earlier. Is like we still trying to get it right. We still trying to get it right because out the gate in most communities we come from, we're taught envy, we're taught malice, hatred, jealousy, everything negative you can think of.
Jump.
That because a lot of it is through trauma.
Yep. Just about to say that. That's it.
It's through trauma. So we're taught almost like defensive mechanism, how to defend yourself, how to shake somebody off, how to evade certain things.
That's how I got good at jokes.
It's better. It's just like we got that. Everybody got that family member that they think he a pedophile. He might not have come out, but he's like, why you guys play with the kids? Get your ass out of here.
Right.
We have so-called black people have a method where we don't talk about it. No matter how ugly whatever it is in our family is, like even your mother telling you years later she was trying to protect you. Why didn't she say that initially? I'm not treating you this way because of this. It's because I want you to grow up knowing the evils out there.
Right.
It's not conveyed. We just say, shut the hell up.
Right. And now you grow up with changing, like,
don't know how to communicate,
like,
don't know how to express.
Bruh, I literally, it was before I got in the truth where I stopped changing my voice to talk to women. Because my mama would always be like, you better take that damn bass out your voice when you talk to me. So I started being like, man, why I gotta, you know what I'm saying? And then every now and then
every Judite right now felt that in their heart.
I used to say it to mine,
You know, and
nobody want to confess? Okay, thank you.
You know, so now you go and thinking,
Benji too.
She telling you to take bass out your voice because if you learn to speak like a man, you're gonna speak like that to another man, and that man's gonna kill you.
Right.
So she taught you talk effeminate, raise your voice to a squeaky level so that you don't seem intimidating.
Right.
Or
this is like confession corner today. Go ahead.
Or even like the spin of it. I was talking to my oldest son, the 30-year-old, the other day, and he was yelling on the phone. And I've been telling him for a very long time, why are you so loud? And I called, I say, seriously, why are you so loud? He say, Ma. And I told him, I said, that's an effeminate spirit. So he say, Ma, do you remember how loud you used to be? And it cut me like a knife. This was like a month ago. And I was like, what? He say, Ma, you used to be loud. And then I thought about it because I'm a woman. Like, I'm not the man. Like, the man could say something in a monotone tone, mean what he say, get the point across. But me, even I might put my hands on you and I might do whatever. That's I might beat you, but that's not gonna be the same as if your dad dealt with you. So I'm the woman and I'm in the house, so I'm yelling all the time. That's something he got. And when he said that, I'm telling you, it cut like a knife. I'm like, damn. That's what because when I would think of feminine spirit, I would think maybe like girly ways, and that's what I would attribute it to when the prophets would bring that out. But when he said that to me, he said, "Ma, you was always loud. You used to yell from us 3 blocks over." I'm like, damn. And I was super loud.
Hey,
I was.
Go back to the beginning and play it again. I think Officer Lisha sent y'all something.
Yeah.
All right,
See, you fight dirty, and what I'm hearing is you talk to your man like a woman.
No.
Oh yeah, you do. Because if you talk to him like you should talk to a man, you should know from a safety standpoint that you need to keep your mouth closed. See, when two men are talking, there's a low-level threat of violence. If I'm sitting here talking to a man, I know there are lines. I can't cross certain lines with any man. I don't care how big or small he is. After a certain line, we're going to have to shoot the fair one. But you will go damn well low because you know good and well he ain't going to do nothing.
The jugular.
Yep.
Because if you talk the way if you argued with him, if you argue with a woman the way you argue with him, would you and that woman end up in a conflict?
Possibly.
Damn. Damn. So our relationship dynamics are through trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Officer mentioned, the Willie Lynch.
Yep.
The Willie Lynch, the making of a slave. In the makings of a slave, the woman was taught to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
And the man to be more effeminate.
Right.
Hey, Cap, what that also translate to the LGBT as well too, because I just this past Thursday, as a matter of fact, I did a class about the whole movement and everything, and in one of the parts of the class, I was explaining like so what they're trying to do is say that there's a gene that comes from your ancestors that carries that LGBT to your family. So if you but they're trying to say that you're
it's
what
called
they're trying
Billy
to prove,
Jeans.
they're trying to use it they're trying to use it to prove a point to say that they're born that way.
Oh, okay.
But there's science that shows that that's actually not the case, and that what it comes from a lot of time is trauma.
That's it.
When you talk to a lot of brothers and sisters that live that lifestyle, and and they're honest, and they talk about things that happened in their past, to some degree, there's some form of, whether it might have been mental abuse or sexual abuse, there's some type of trauma that was never dealt with, and something that was never corrected, and then now it leads them down that path.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, my wife asked my kids. Oh, I'm sorry.
One time there was a brother on the street teaching, young brother. He was a sodomite.
I was there with you.
You was there?
I remember that. Yep.
And I'm like, yo, bro, did anybody ever touch you? And he said, yeah, my uncle. He said, my uncle did this to me.
The last quest we was on, when I was teaching in Grenada, and I was passing out flyers, and the guy he was extra with it, and I asked, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, and he was like, it happened to him as well too. Right. It happened to him as well.
Some of these uncles, man, these fathers, and what I'm seeing is even what's more coming prevalent in the news is a lot of women.
I was just about to say,
there was like a 70-year-old woman that was banging her 14-year-old student.
Sir.
You're seeing a lot more women
Confession corner
to teachers.
Like, what the?
Listen.
Don't be the not real cousin.
Oh yeah. Play cousin.
But you know,
but it's my little sister daddy. So, but he took care of me. His family member, they was like, you not our real cousin.
wow.
They was girls, but still, they was like,
girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
thought
Women
she was confessing that.
Nah, I'm saying women were, but they was really on some. You not our. Not our
brother's really telling today.
Wow.
I'm good.
But
He's like, yeah, my uncle, my mama's side.
If I say it on here, I done said it out in real life too. I'm all right with it. I'm good with it at this point.
Okay.
Now the truth can help me with my trauma. A lot of stuff
Hell yeah.
And if you don't get this stuff out in here,
I got some trauma.
You'd be surprised.
And what makes it sad too is because in that same report, it said that. So I think they're saying that it's estimated around like maybe 28 to 38% of the world's population lives that lifestyle.
That's
But when you and that's what the video says. It's actually more than that because some people don't come out, but just based upon the census or whatever. Right. But 30 to 28% comes to like over 1 billion people. Dang. The article says that over 83% of those people that live that lifestyle, over 83% is because of some past trauma.
Wow.
It is not. It's nothing to do with you born. It's not that at all. It's something happened in your past.
Yeah.
It's a behavior that's learned from something, and it was never dealt with.
He said, I ain't bringing that to PSR. I'm going to keep that exclusively for my class when it come out.
I know, right? We talking about it right now. We talking about it right now.
Hey, bro, you can't win. Don't
we talking about it right now. We talking about trauma right now.
If you didn't tell us, I'll be cussing you out. Like, why you didn't tell us that on the show?
Right, why you didn't bring it out?
Nah, but that's facts though. Facts. Hey, let's go back to that video you just had up. Yeah. Oh, let's play that one too.
Okay, yeah. Because I know we mentioned how we'll say how our mothers or our parents has taught us the way to be, right? This video right here kind of goes into it because we were many of our people will present themselves one way, but deep down it's because of the way that we were brought up, our trauma.
Did you know that all of the world's serial killers, every last one of them, you can look this up, to some degree has trauma with their mothers?
Really?
Literally you can look it up.
I always suspected
There's a couple of different things you look for, but one of the main things is and it's predominantly white women, but look, all of the world's serial killers.
Look at Norman Bates' mama.
You know that's what Esau looked for in his special forces?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes, he does.
One who a little crazy.
He need that.
Yes.
You know Jeffrey Dahmer was special forces?
Stop
it.
What?
He was.
Y'all better stop.
Jeffrey Dahmer was Esau's special forces.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
He was. Before he started.
They want a level of crazy.
Yeah, they need it. We need a nigga who really go out here.
He flunked out the military though, but
you gotta think about it. You're in uncharted lands because don't sleep for 3-4 days at a time. You gotta take medication. You start hallucinating. Because I'm telling you, I watch special forces confessionaries and stuff. They're telling you I had to take medication to stay awake for 4 days. They start hallucinating because they are on watch. Like
them snipers and stuff. Like you can't go to sleep because you only got one opportunity. You have to. If you miss your opportunity,
you got to be a level of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody says.
Yep, they said that.
You pissing on yourself while you
just,
can't
just
move,
right there.
man.
I'm telling you, you can't move. Like if you sniping somebody, you have to stay there until you get your target, no matter how long it takes. You can't go to sleep. You can't take a break. You have to just sit there.
Everything.
Stay there.
Sit there.
What they do, they have certain meals that they eat. I know we know about the MREs, but they have certain meals that they eat that make them constipated. So they won't be having bowel movements on your mission.
You just pee up yourself.
You'll be pissing, but you ain't gonna be dropping number twos.
After a while, the pee burn a little. Start itching.
And them ants come and start biting your balls. Hey, take one for the team.
What smell like horse piss out here?
Play that.
A street dude ain't no different than a female. They propagate gangsterism. Women think that's masculinity. It's a call for help. Street dudes grew up without a father.
Father time, they gonna teach him not to be in the streets.
But listen, when you staring at a street dude, what did he do? You looking at? What you looking at, nigga?
It's a fact.
That's the same thing that women do. When you staring at a woman, it's like, oh boy, what you looking at? They got the same energy as a woman. It just has a different frequency to it. You got the same energy. When you're over emotional, that creates toxicity. Your emotions is not in balance with logic. Like they dealing with a lot of internal problems.
Stop. See that? It's a lot to unpack right there.
Bruh.
He said, because of your emotions, you don't deal with logic.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. There's a lot of brothers that are in jail right now for being illogical.
That's right. Going off of emotions.
Irrational.
Straight, irrational. Did I say illogical?
Yeah, that's a good one. Even if it don't, we like it.
Yeah, right. But the point is, those are the same brothers who are now sitting back, like telling the younger brothers coming in jail, like, man, don't do this, don't do that, because I did it. And like, why we gotta be on the what you call that? The reaction. The reactionary
no
portion,
proactive, huh?
But not proactive. What do you think we in the street teaching? We in the street teaching you that these are that's what we teach. That's effeminate ways.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, you acting like a bitch.
Yep.
A whole bitch.
Mitch.
So we'll get it mixed up because we see him aggressive or he has whatever, strength or whatever.
Tattoos.
Right. Yeah. But they're nothing but women.
Right.
They have the same logic and the same mindset as a mom because they was raised by their mother. Like you said, like you used to like to scream at your kids. They do the same exact thing. It's the same exact method because that's all they know.
That's all
that's
I
how
did
you
was
mold
scream and
You see what I'm saying?
So you just a woman with you're a tranny.
Pretty much.
You're a tough ass tranny.
Yeah.
Go ahead, play it.
Because your emotions is not in balance with logic. Like they dealing with a lot of internal problems. Propagate gangsterism, and women think that's masculinity. Smoking all day, popping pills, you know what I'm saying, flashing the money. They trying to compensate for the lack thereof. Something happened to that man when he was a little boy. A lot of them deal with a lot of mental issues, while a lot of them are really like low-key homosexuals too.
I heard about that. I did hear about that.
A lot of street people are really that, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of women today, you know, they really think that like, oh, he a street dude, you know what I'm saying? He gets listening to NBA Youngboy. That's Bay right there. That's Bay. You got, you know, they think that's like masculine energy. A masculine man is always a very logical man, not an emotional man.
Thank you.
Emotional people act on impulse.
Oh, Cap.
That's it.
So they going after men that remind them of their friend girls.
That's what it is. They looking for friends. They're not looking for a man to lead them. They're looking for
friend girls.
a friend.
That's what y'all is. Y'all like a bunch of friend girls.
Yep.
You not a man. She don't want a man. She just want a girl with a penis.
A bestie. Yeah. That's crazy.
Hey, Isaiah 51:20.
Damn.
Isaiah 51 verse 20.
Isaiah chapter 51 verse 20. Thy sons have fainted.
So you got to think about it. In the context of what we just watched, they fainted from logical thinking. They fainted from facts. They fainted from discipline or controlling your emotions. You got to think about it. When you faint away from the truth, it's everything disciplinary. It's everything structured. It's everything godly. You faint away from all of that. Go ahead.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
So every one of our communities always has the group of young boys, whether it's by the gas station, the corner store, various neighborhoods. They just look like they into something. And to the point where sometimes you take the long way home, because I ain't going down that street right there.
Right.
These young boys, crazy. Now they got this thing where when you pull up to a stoplight, it's like a mob of them run out into the street and start jumping on your car.
Oh yeah, I
Really?
did see something like that.
In
They were doing that in New York with some.
Yes, they did in a few places. It's mainly in New York. They start jumping on your car. Like
Why?
Why not? Illogical. That's why it's illogical.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
So they stand on these corners. You think it's a group of kids just standing there. So you pull up to the stoplight. You ain't paying attention. When that light turned red and you come to a complete stop, they all rush off that corner and read.
As a wild bull in a net.
They're like a bunch of wild bulls. Now we know in Micah 2:8, they take off the robe, they rob our people. We understand that. But it's even doing this destructive damage, this destructiveness. This when we were in Chicago, Officer Sampson had read some of Lil Durk's lyrics, the rapper Lil Durk. And in his song, he mentioned that he terrorized the city. This is what these young men, young women do. There's also a video of this group of teens, 13, 14-year-olds in Florida, went on a high-speed chase, shot at the cops, did a whole bunch of craziness. They go to court. All their little 13, 14-year-old friends show up to court, start acting a fool in the courthouse. The bailiff's got to lock a bunch of 13-year-old girls up, 14-year-old boys, and they're getting taken out by the bailiff in cuffs. They're still cussing at the judge that just dropped a sentence on their 13, 14-year-old friends that were outrunning cops,
And
shooting at them. Y'all got... Read it from the top again.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
tell you.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
So this fury that our people have, it's irrational. Because, you know, I remember as a young man being angry and not knowing why. I was once this bull in the net. I can attest to that. So I remember Bishop was in Chicago, one of his old videos. He did a 40-minute video on, I think 30 or 40 minutes on this one scripture. He read it at least 20 times and pulled every meat off the bone. It was a very old video. They didn't have no garments yet, no nothing. He was in Chicago. Yeah, Bishop was blitzing O Block.
Wow, back then.
Back then. This was like the early 2000s, maybe 2000, maybe 2000. 2000. It might have been 2003.
Okay.
But it was early on, 2003. Yeah, probably 2003. And he brought this scripture out, and it made so much sense because we furious, illogical, and don't know why. Why do we do the stuff that we do? Like, what is the purpose? Then, when you're illogical, when your irrational, emotional ass, fake ass, gangsta ass son gets locked up, you as a mother want to show up to the courthouse and be like, he wasn't raised that way.
Yes,
look, there's also a video. I think we didn't go over it last week. A brother says, why don't we ever talk about the mothers that condone the sons going out in the street? Because he played a clip from The Wire. I forgot the young boy name. He looked Northern Kingdom in The Wire. Real young. And the mother dropped him off on the corner, The Wire, the TV show. Yeah, and he went and pitched drugs. So the brother in the video was like, yo, we never talk about this. Right. We never talk about this. The aspect of the mothers sometimes benefits from the sons pitching drugs.
Right. Yeah, he actually wanted to get off the streets. He wanted to get off the streets.
He wanted to get off the streets.
Yeah, and the mama,
because
he was smart.
In Baltimore, they was killing left and right.
And he wasn't
dead
built
bodies
for the
in their abandoned houses.
Yeah, he wasn't built for it.
She said, no, you're going to bring this money. My rent got to be paid.
Buy your little
I got a
brother
new
shoes.
car. Your brother needs some new Jordans. Go out there and get it.
I know for a fact that's how that thing go. Cause my cousin, and I tell all the time, my auntie told on me, my mom, that he out there with the rest of them.
Right. That was the Lord talking through your auntie.
But the rest of them was my cousins that she didn't have no problem with them being out there.
Right.
Nah, she said, you a prophet of the Lord.
All praise to the Most High.
All praise for that.
You know, but
wicked ass auntie, God was working through you.
But the thing was, my cousin, that's what they was doing. My auntie couldn't buy the clothes he want. I'm talking about my super smart. So he starts, as Cat would say, pitching on it, but that ain't, you know what I'm saying? He's standing on the corner. We outside.
Well,
you know?
listen, Uzziah, man, that brother is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he ain't playing around
at all.
Serious.
Listen, we got a new tech team manager.
We can say his name.
Yeah, he got a name.
We got a new tech team manager.
You the district manager.
Yeah. You the regional. You the regional manager. Also, Lish is the regional manager. He got fired on his day off. He got fired. Play that video real quick. Go back. Yeah. Let's play that. Yeah. That was it. Let's play that.
This from last week?
No,
this is from The Wire.
Oh, I ain't never watched that.
Right.
Really? I just watched it about a year ago. The whole thing.
What? The Wire?
Yeah,
How
I never.
you know?
Because I used to work so much, I didn't have time.
I understand. No. She ain't saying nothing.
I know, seriously. I worked
She ain't
full
seen
time.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right. She didn't say nothing the whole show, right?
Yeah.
She was laughing like these folks crazy.
But yeah.
No. Watch The Wire.
But the remember the sentiment is we're going over. Officer Lisha pulled about these so-called thugs and gangsters in the street. They're really effeminate. There's a lot of dynamics to the trauma. So let's play that real quick.
The irony is they never talked about how there were a lot of mothers who encouraged their boys to go out there on the street. And just like you saw with Deronda and Naaman, there were a lot of mothers who did that. There were a lot of mothers who knew their sons were selling drugs and they just turned a blind eye because they liked the money that they were getting.
Yeah.
But see, we never talk about that because we are not allowed to say anything negative about mother.
About mama.
For real.
So,
that's real.
Can't say nothing about that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so with me having the 6 boys, I was not the mom who ever wanted them to sell drugs, go to school, and I got everything. So when I moved my kids from Miami, that's what I'm thinking. I didn't want my kids to be involved in any of that. But the others kind of stand on the same vein, how, again, you cannot just have the mother in the house.
Right.
I did not perpetuate that, but my boys used to do stuff, and I wanted to believe them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, they're not going to do no wrong, or, I'm going to stand behind them when something come up. And I remember one day I came home and it was a brand new car in my garage. When I went to the freezer, I'm like, there's a damn car in here. Like, where did this car come from? And they were like, oh, well, my friend, he just want us to hold it for him because they ain't making the payments and they don't want him to take it. So me thinking, I done did that. I done hit my car before because I don't want him to take it. No, they they done stole this damn car and it's in your garage, dum dum. The car had no. But if a man was there, that would have never happened. Right. You got a whole car in here.
A whole vehicle.
A whole car.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't even been the place to bring that. They would have been like,
oh yeah.
Nah.
They would have never thought it, but I don't go in the garage.
Right.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? The man stands watch. So it's a lot of stuff they did because, again, I wasn't condoning their behavior, but I wasn't in the street. Like, they would tell me stuff and I want to believe them. Your eyes red because you tired. No.
Right. I'm sleepy, mama.
Hey, so the end of his video, he says, because you can't speak about the black woman.
Yeah,
right?
you can.
Okay, let's play this traumatic video here.
Yeah, that was it.
It's hard for me to speak out on this, but when you have a mother that does not even believe their own daughter right here, that's a serious problem to me. And it's a problem in the black community because I'm voicing to you that your husband was inappropriate with me. And why do you not believe that? You're lying. Quit lying. I'm lying. Why am I?
Stop. Look, when I tell you I know about these type of situations personally, I think Officer Soraya said the same, multiple accounts where daughters or sons will tell a mother about their boyfriend
or husband,
and the mother immediately says, you're lying.
Yeah.
Never questioning the man. Never.
Because they don't want the truth.
Because they don't really want to know.
They don't want to know. For
or they lifestyle.
So it goes right back to the experiment. Here it is, a spirit that obviously this man has to fix, work on, and acknowledge. You said, you know what? I don't even want him to work on that spirit. I want him to terrorize the neighborhood. Because he's not going to stop at just your house. It's going to be the neighbor's kid. It's going to be somebody at the school when he go act like he picking up the kids. And somebody going to put him to death.
Yeah, in the situation I'm thinking about, it was a young girl, but the man, he was living with the mother, and he was paying the bills, and she didn't want him to stop paying the bills, so she didn't
go ahead and touch my daughter.
The daughter, she kind of allowed it just because he was there to pay the bills.
But I done heard of that, and I heard of the mother actually starting to develop hatred.
That's what I
for
said.
the daughter.
So
Right.
I know somebody.
Precious.
Oh yeah, that was
Precious. But no, I know somebody personally, like you say. But this was their biological children, and I could never figure out why her mom was like, she would call her bees, and she was just so hateful toward her.
Damn.
It wasn't
They be
until
thinking the girls are competition.
No, but the dad was messing with the daughter and the son. And the daughter and the son. He was messing with the daughter and the son.
Damn,
but they lived, their house was sort of like our house. Beautiful house, beautiful white furniture.
The Johnsons.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that was the mom's mindset, and she hated that girl. And I never understood it till they got older, and the boy became a sodomite. And I didn't understand that either until they got older.
In that same church I was telling you about the pastor and the message, there was a guy, you know, they always in the choir. And I forgot how it came out because the young boy had got tired of being bothered by the husband, and he was getting ready to kill him. He had done found a gun or got a gun from somewhere and was getting ready to kill him. He didn't, but that's how it all came out. To come to find out, he had been doing it for years.
The pastor?
No, not the pastor. The guy, the choir director. Yeah.
So the choir director was molesting a boy.
His wife's son. For years, and we found out that she knew about it.
Yeah, the mama knew.
We found out that she knew about it.
Damn, bro.
Remember last night, the deacons brought it out. The wife always.
You know, man.
Yeah.
Come on,
the wife
man.
always. If you see your husband walk past your child, your child is flinchy. Meanwhile, the husband just walking by. He ain't doing. What the hell was that?
Right.
You better investigate. Listen. A lot of our people are so traumatized, they would rather let a monster into that house than to repent and have a godly man raise godly
children.
seed. Y'all gotta, because listen, we talking from experience. We know how the black and Hispanic homes are.
Right.
We've looking at multiple cases where we're all like, yup, that's our people.
Seen that part before.
Seen that,
Right,
been there, done that. And now we're looking at this traumatic exchange between a mother and a daughter. And it gets worse. Yeah. Go back a few seconds.
Go back at the beginning.
He a good
Start
man,
from the beginning.
Savannah.
Start from the beginning.
No, he's not a good man.
It's hard for me to speak out on this, but when you have a mother that does not even believe their own daughter right here, that's a serious problem to me. And it's a problem in the black community because I'm voicing to you that your husband was inappropriate with me. And why do you not believe that?
You're lying. Quit lying.
I'm lying? Why am I finna lie to you about that?
You stay lying. Coming from the
Y'all, this has happened for years, y'all. I come in this.
Men in her bed.
Y'all see this?
Coming from my child is always.
You really taking up and know him for a long time. And it don't even matter. I get out of class, when I get out of everything, I feel so uncomfortable in this house. And she want to sit up here and take up for this man. Like, you're disgusting. Both of y'all are.
So that I have to get pregnant, take care of them, you're my mom, do all
y'all know how hard this is for me to even believe this because this man, I have to come in my home with my mama that's supposed to love me, and you want to sit here for him.
Stop. What? She said this is the second time. I want y'all to don't miss that.
Yeah.
The mother just yelled and said this is the second time. Yeah, so now here's the thing. We don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
But what we do know is these things happen too close to home. Whether it be in our homes, whether it be our friends, our family, other people that we're aware of. These things are real. Where a damn monster, because in the world you're not proving nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You met him at what's that bar on a damn old
20 grand.
Old National.
20 grand.
It's called 20 grand.
You met him at 20
Is
grand.
it JR Crickets?
Met him at 559.
JR Crickets. Give me some more. There's one called 40 and over.
Really?
Cal, was
40
you
yard line, 50 yard line.
Something like that.
50 yard
Something
line.
like that.
Was you in Atlanta when everybody was going to Club 559?
Nah,
West End.
Yeah.
Officer List used to go to the Ritz.
Yeah.
The
We ain't talking about that right now.
Look, the Ritz was like, yeah, I know that one. Hey, listen. But the point is, they go to these different functions. You go to a barbecue, whatever. You meet this man. You do what the whorish way in you knows how. Mm-hmm. So because you let him knock it down, you like, yeah, you need your lights paid. Yeah, pay my lights. Pay your lights 2 months. Might as well just move on in. You're paying the lights. Okay.
Right.
He move in.
I'm going to come by there for a little while.
There's no proving process. No one is vetting this man.
He's nice.
He's not meeting your father. He's not going through upstanding men that he can dissect and say, hey, to vet him. There's nobody saying, yo, this guy right here, I Googled his ass. And he came up on a sex registry several times.
And guess what? He ain't on no sex registry. But guess what? A 15-year-old girl to him is
his preference.
Yeah. Yep. Listen, and that goes
TNA. That's what he sees.
That goes in this truth too. Some of y'all that's proven brothers, you better make sure he don't want your daughter more than he wants you.
But
or not more than at all.
Brothers,
He don't want your daughter at all.
Right.
Or vice versa. Some of these women is freaking crazy. They're looking at your son's package. Like, yeah, he gonna have a big one on him right there.
He wore great sweatpants to the Sabbath.
I'm gonna tell you, lately you've been hearing more about teachers knocking down these young boys than I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah, and these teachers and these women's are some damn.
See, a sister said that was my life growing up.
Pedophile.
This is so. Listen, and you got to think about this. And I'm going by the daughter's demeanor.
Right. Yeah.
She's not joking. Like, you're my mother that's supposed to love me.
Like you. Yeah.
And she said, you barely know this man.
And you knew him for a few years. What you talking about?
But he be at the house. And when mama went to the store, he like, nah, I stay here. I'm good. That's what he did.
While you was walking around the house in little shorts, girl.
Come on, sit on my lap.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
You gonna be a pretty little girl when you grow up. You know that.
When you
evil.
Hey, by the way, all you brothers that was 25 years old picking up the high school girls,
you're a rapist.
Seniors, you a rapist. You are R. Kelly.
Right.
You are R. Kelly.
That spirit started right there.
I'm tell you straight. Yo, you know all the little. But we was in high school at least. The bad sisters. The bad sisters ain't
always
very seldomly deal with brothers in the school.
Always somebody.
They deal with the older dudes outside the school that had a car.
He would come pick you up.
Them up. Them niggas is R. Kelly's, man.
Right. The senior on the 9th graders.
He was trying to be his therapist, and he ended up being the rapist.
Yeah, the rapist.
The same things.
Oh, he was saying it to the little girl.
Hey, brother.
God, don't use
Boy,
that.
you
He even press off the list.
Even Officer Alicia is
impressed.
at the tech team right
He's
now.
like, I can see, bro. You got it.
Hold on. So
we've been missing Uzziah this whole time.
Let's go back. I want you got the minute marker in the video you just pulled up? Okay. Let's go to that and come back to her.
Got Zoom.
I know we got
Uzziah gonna get a merit.
Outstanding.
Are we gonna get
Yeah, you
a strike
probably
for
want to
this?
kind of skim through it.
Go find a part exactly where he's talking to her or something like that.
That part right there.
Let's play it. Come on, look at that little.
Damn.
He don't see that. He
Nope.
potential.
He see TNA.
Look.
What's TNA?
Stop.
You serious?
Oh, look at the look he gave her.
Yes.
Yeah, he's so.
Shut up. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Look. Can you go back a little
She
bit
just
to
learned
his look?
something.
He looked like this just made my day.
Look at that little angel.
Because you see little kids, you be like, oh man, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That
Right.
wasn't
Nah,
a
that's
look
not
of-
that. He say, yeah, oh, that's so cute.
He was like,
That's a
ooh,
different type of.
He said, "Ooh, she tough."
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but that look is.
Ooh,
Damn,
look at her.
This is, and I said it earlier. Whether you acknowledge it or not, this dude is somewhere in your family.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah.
This dude is in our families because that's why you don't want your kids to go over to certain people's houses.
Can't spend the night. Nope.
Because there's something about him that don't sit right. But instead of us, hey bro, you like little kids?
Yeah.
We don't want to
Just be
ruffle
straight
no
up.
feathers.
Y'all know how Uncle Charles is.
No, we don't.
That's what they say.
That's it.
Y'all know how Charles is.
Like, make sure none of the
Where the
kids go
kids
near
at?
Charles.
When he start to drinking,
Wait,
y'all
where
know
the
how he
kids
do.
at?
Say that again.
When he starts to drinking, y'all know how he do, y'all.
I'm telling you.
Just hush. Just leave that alone. That don't hurt. Just stop. Be quiet. We ain't doing all that today.
You know who get offended the most at that stuff coming out? Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You
she know.
know
Big
what?
Mama
She
don't
been
want
knowing.
none of that stuff coming out. That's what you have when you have the woman leading the family.
But just like you say, and they hide stuff. Like
Yeah.
I remember 2 stories. One, my
Quick-
aunt.
quick stories.
Yeah, no, they say grandma forget things. No, she does not forget
No.
things. She has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
She has Alzheimer's
Right.
and dementia. But you cover everything up. You don't tell the truth about stuff.
Right,
and you don't
right.
realize what's going on in your family because you don't ever say nothing.
Right.
So yeah, that's it.
Go ahead, play it. Look at that.
Oh, hey there.
How old are you, Michelle?
She look
Awful big for an 8-year-old.
Wow. Go ahead, play it. I'm sorry.
You know, girls these days develop faster than they did when I was growing up.
8.
I think it's all the steroids they put in the food these days. You know what it means to develop?
No, sir.
Well, what it means is that one day you're gonna fill out like a grown woman. And in about 2 or 3 years, you're gonna be stacked up just right.
Not stacked up.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Wow.
When the time comes, you'll be real happy about it.
Mommy?
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah, I never saw this. So is this what movie is this?
Woman Thou Art Loose.
Oh yeah, I never.
Oh, that's that.
Is it
Tyler Perry.
TD Jakes?
TD Jakes movie.
Yeah, I never. See, I ain't like him,
Tyler- I
so
think
I
it's
never
So
watched
TD
it.
Jakes know about that, huh?
Yeah, I never seen it.
You know, said woman now are loose and your daughter too.
Damn.
Let's go back to the other video.
You gonna be stacked up.
But how you
man.
even see that? She.
Wow.
Like, how you play
You
that
said
role?
in 2 more years. Yeah.
That's what
2
I
more
was
years,
thinking.
like 2 more years is better.
You like 10. You gonna be
You 10.
all right. 10.
Wow. Well, what he's doing is he grooming her.
Priming her.
He's priming her right now.
You may
Go
be
ahead,
young,
play it.
but you ready.
Why would I lie, y'all? Why would I lie? Why?
You want to stay like I'm shaking right now, y'all, because this makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And she want to sit here and justify it. You were sad. You were sad and disgusting human being. I swear to God. I don't even look at you as no mother. I don't even look at you as a mother. This means y'all. I can get out.
You can get out.
So you gonna put me out over this dirty man that
That's all you teach. He don't like that. This is your second time doing this. Your second time.
This is what I gotta go through, y'all. This is what I gotta go through. I gotta go through a mother that don't believe their own. She birthed me, and you wanna treat me like this, your own blood. I would never do nothing like that to nobody. I got been through that. I got friends, and you my mama. You are my mama. Don't even go over. I don't even want to touch you. Get away from me. You and your video could go. How about that? Oh, now you want to, you know what? How about that? How about that? Because you're always doing. I swear to God. It's not your fault. It's your fault. Get on my face. Keep energy with the time, y'all, all the time. All the time.
She literally crying for help.
Yo,
Is that
thing-
her?
No. I think that's like the person who published it.
Okay.
When I tell you that's some hurtful stuff.
Gotta be.
Damn. And here's the thing. That's who the Lord called us to wake up. The broken, the downtrodden, those who have, and I know young, because we played videos where mothers is kicking out sons.
Yeah.
Get the hell out my house, yada yada yada. Yo, let's take the Zoom call because my mind is going a million different places right now. Let's take the Zoom call.
Hey, shalom, sister. What's your name? Question? Comment? Can you hear us? Shalom, sister.
Shalom, sis.
Take your phone off mute.
Unmute
you
your
got
mic.
to mute it. No, it's not her. It's David Ophir.
Yeah.
That damn David Ophir.
David Ophir.
Look, you see I'm squinting?
Right there.
You need glasses like me, bro.
And he right in front of the computer.
Y'all got to change the audio source.
Your headphones making your eyes not work. Why he's squinting right in front of the computer?
Why they fixing that? It's one thing that I'm looking at the video and I do see one side. Oh, okay. Never mind. She back.
Now finish your thought.
Yes, shalom, Most High in Christ. Bless
Hey, shalom.
to all the
Shalom,
persons.
sis.
Shalom, sister. What's your name? Question or comment?
Hello, my name is Donna and I'm calling from the DC camp.
Hey,
And
shalom.
and I just wanted to make a comment regarding the program that you are speaking of concerning molestation. So I think I was around 18 at the time, and a close neighbor friend of my uncle's, one time my uncle came home and the person was with him, and I was in the basement by myself at the time in our house, of course. And my uncle came in to use the bathroom. So he announced himself to let me know that he was there. And he said, I'm just using the bathroom, and I'm gonna go right back out. And the person came in with him, his friend. I know the person as well because he was also our neighbor. And so after my uncle announced himself, I walked into the bedroom, and the person walked behind me and then tried to talk to me and said, I've been looking at you and I'm finding interest in you and stuff like that. And then he kind of like stretched his hand to tap me on the shoulder. And I said to him, I said, if you touch me, I'm going to tell my uncle. Right. And he immediately know that what was going to happen. So what he did, he walked out the bedroom and he immediately left and walked outside. So he wasn't able to do anything because I immediately told him what was going to happen. And he knew the consequences because my brothers, I had 4 brothers, of course, and my uncles, they all knew him. He all lived next door. So he didn't want the smoke, of course. So he immediately left and never said anything to me after that. And he would see me all the time. He never spoke to me. I never spoke to him, didn't say hi, nothing. So a lot of times, because we don't speak up when these things occur, even if it's a small suggestion, when these things happen and we don't speak up, these things tend to continue. And I know my dad always used to inform me that don't you ever let any man touch you and don't say anything, or talk to you in a certain way which is inappropriate and don't say anything. So I was always brought up to make sure that when these things occur, in spite of what the issue is, you say something about it. So that was one incident, and then another incident was with myself and a cousin of mine. Well, she's still my cousin, of course. She lives in Atlanta now, but at this time it was in Brooklyn. We were living in Brooklyn, New York, in Crown Heights, when this happened. And the second incident was my cousin. She's younger than I am, and the person that approached us, he also was a family friend, Marion, to, so we all grew up together in the same village, stuff like that in South America. And he approached myself, and he also approached my cousin. But when he approached me, I said to him, I said, I'm not interested. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And he went and he approached my cousin saying the same thing. And then she came to me and she said, Donna, did this person came to you and said such and such? And I said, yeah. And she was like, what do you say? And I was like, I told him I'm not interested. And if he touched me, I'm going to speak out. And she said, well, okay, I'm going to say the same thing. So she was like, I was like, okay, well, we need to go and say something about it, right? So it was talked about in the family. So after that, we basically didn't see the man too much anymore. My family still used to have him come around once in a while because his daughter and his son and his wife was close to my aunts and stuff like that. But him himself stopped coming around as much. So we used as cousins, girls, we used to look out for each other and so forth. So these are things that we always did among ourselves. And with those incidents, what I have done is that with my sisters, I always used to keep a close eye on them, to make sure I just start looking at pretty much all men like a hawk. Sorry to say, but if I see my sisters getting too close to guys and stuff like that, I used to be like, get over here, don't you go over there. Like, in that instance. So I kind of like put them on alert as to, not because they are friends of such and such, they're not your friends. They're their friends. They're not your friends. So that was always embedded in us to do these things. So I just wanted to share that.
All praises, all praises. Thank you for your call in, sis. Listen, even I'm sure the attempts, it might have not gone the full length, but just having to recall something like that.
Yeah, when it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, when it's not supposed to happen. That's what the Bible calls inordinate affections.
Yeah.
Right. It's not ordained of the Lord. And again, through our traumas, through our dysfunctional ass families, through our upbringings and the communities and our sensitive, illogical natures, these are the things that spawn from it. LGBT. I know we're going to break, but I want to get a scripture. Deuteronomy 22. Start at verse 30.
And it's sad seeing
Deuteronomy 22, verse 23.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 23. Go ahead. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not.
So what is a woman? What is a woman that's forced supposed to do?
Cry out.
She's supposed to cry out.
God says she better cry out.
Right.
Because if she doesn't, she's condoning it. You watch these movies of someone's raped and they're just whimpering to themselves. No,
you
ain't supposed to whimper. You're supposed to yell, scream, try to get someone's attention, because the hope is to revert the mind of the attacker.
Right. That's
the hope. Like, oh snap! Oh, she crazy. I'm out. Oh, that's the hope. Like I remember years ago there was a video that I saw, and it crushed, not crushed, but it hurt my spirit. I'm gonna tell you straight. It was I think it was in Cali. It was a young Northern Kingdom girl. And I think the report says she was 15. She's walking down a street, and there's like a car parked on the sidewalk to her right. You see a guy come into the frame from the left side, pushes her to the ground, drags her behind that abandoned car on the sidewalk, rapes her, and then gets up and walks away. She's behind the car. So if you're walking down the street, you wouldn't even know she's back there, because it's like abandoned car. He raped you, see him get up, and he's buckling his pants, and he walks off. These are things that happen in our communities every single day. And guess what? there's oftentimes there's no therapy for it because most of it goes unspoken of.
Right.
It's one of them. Somebody said somebody may mention a comment that they heard a lot growing up was, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Because if it's the boyfriend, if it's the cousin, if it's the uncle, that's now family business. And you don't hear blacks turning in family members to get arrested for molesting somebody. You don't really hear that.
Yeah.
We ain't bringing that up.
We just not gonna bring it up. It never happened. So it's basically telling these young girls, these young boys, it's your fault. So therefore, you don't get any closure. Right. Now, grow up and go out into the world and be normal.
Get over it.
Right.
Get over it.
How you gonna go out there and how are you going to establish a functioning relationship with anyone starting off your young life like that?
Yeah. Cap.
How?
You know why you so right about that? The sister gave her account and she just pretty much said from that point on, she was in a protective mode, even with her other sisters because of that incident. So
just that took the innocence away from looking at people.
Living in that trauma.
So when you get older and you marry someone and there's trust issues, it's because you were bred with distrust.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a lot of the stuff that goes on. So I know we got to take a commercial break.
I know we're going to traumatize you when we take this commercial break, but we'll be back.
All places.
Have you imagined the benefits of homeschooling your children in the comfort of your home? Whether your children are elementary age and just learning to read, becoming an effective homeschooling parent is a skill that can be taught and it can be learned. And I'm here to help you on your journey. So please consider Principal's Principle. Let Principal's Principle help you in your journey.
Let me get myself together.
Just let me know what you want me to do. Tell me, just so you want.
All praises, we back on Patient Saints Radio.
Radio.
All right, yeah, we got a lot to cover in like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
y'all. I know we
as
spent a lot of time on these traumatic relationships, things of that nature, but
well need
matter of fact, we got 2 more clips. Damn,
Yeah,
I
might have
forgot
been.
about that.
Yeah, we might well just ride this out.
Yeah,
might have
keep
been
riding
needed.
it out. Hey, top left. Let's play that.
Let's say this hypothetical event where every black man in the world was to walk through and be evaluated, whether you're a man, a good man, whatever the case may be. I believe black women will insist on being in that room. Like our voices need to be heard too, right? We need to have a say in evaluating what is a man and what is a good man. However, it seems to be the case that if the opposite was true, there was a room evaluating women, stay out of black women's business. So that tells me
that's not the same. Really quickly.
I'm going to explain what I mean.
Okay, go ahead.
Black women have been socialized to trivialize black men's value. I don't think fatherlessness helps that. I don't think mass incarceration, the war on drugs, helps that. I don't think black male mental health helps that. I think it just adds to it. I think it's confirmation bias. We have to be honest about the fact that most black women's operating understanding of black men is not a good one.
Yeah.
And you view the world and you view black men through those lenses first. So the thing is, I don't have to value what you value, black man, but you have to value what I value. So I don't give a shit if you think I'm a good woman. You should give a shit that I think I'm a good woman.
Damn. Let's play the next one before we start commenting, because it's 2 parts.
Women are asking men for grace. Women are asking for men for understanding, for consideration, while simultaneously not being willing to offer that to men. So when it's time to critique men for all I gave you the analogy, for all the reasons why we're not good enough, everybody needs to be in that room. And nobody argues about that. It is okay for men to be lambasted, torn apart, picked apart, told where they need to improve. And I don't even necessarily think it's a bad thing. But when it comes to how women can improve for us, it's more complicated than that. We need to before we can. So we're saying keep that same energy. I'm supposed to put the complexities and all the shit to the side when it's time to tell me how I need to be better.
Right.
But when it's time to tell you how you need to be better, nah, it's not time yet. A lot of men are saying, no, listen, if you're going to expect me to be receptive to critique, because the world expects me to be receptive to critique, specifically black men, we've been picked apart since we got to this country. You as well should see enough value in me to be receptive to my critique, to be receptive to how all the ways you can be better for me.
That's the point right there. There's another video I kind of want to go to as well. It should be bottom, go down. That bottom right. Let's play that video to get all 3, to get the vein. So when he says if it's men in a room being critiqued, all women would want to be present for that. But if it's the flip side, women in a room, the topic would be, we're not ready to discuss that. Stay out of women's business. You don't understand womanhood. You don't understand this. We can't, that's not your place to tell us about this, that, and the third. And I think we can all agree that is the case. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would be the case, because you got to remember, we're coming from the video you posted about that street life. Mm-hmm. That's where the men are coming from. And even if you didn't grow up in the streets, we have a street mentality, meaning it's the same sensitivity in that single parent house. Mm-hmm. You learn to raise your voice like Sister Naomi was talking about. You deal emotionally. So it's not necessarily the street as far as you pitch and crack, but it's the emotional side that you're trying to cover up. So in that single family with the single black woman household, listen, all of them, including myself, that grew up with a single black mother, you're emotional. There's no 2 ways about it. If you had two parents, if your father was out of order and your mother was running the house, you're emotional.
You're emotional.
Every dynamic you can think about is traumatic. Every single dynamic about the so-called Black and Hispanic household. So the brother was saying that when it's time to critique men, everybody has something to critique and the men have to take it. But when it's on the flip side, how you can be better for me? Oh, we can't have that conversation. And here's a reason why men tend to not have that conversation. Play this video.
Shut the f*** up. That's why your dad not talking to you right now.
Go back. Let's read read the top of that.
Says this is why most guys don't talk about their emotions and stuff.
Go ahead, play it now.
Shut the f*** up. That's why your dad not talking to you right now.
What?
That's why your dad not talking to you right now. You wish he was talking to you. You want your dad to talk to you, but he's not.
Ooh, that's not even cool, bro. That's getting hella deep though.
You want your dad to spend time with you, but you don't want to. He don't want to spend time with you.
That's not cool, bro. On God, that's weird as fuck. But that shit, you can take on God out Uber.
He don't want to talk to you.
And you still going, bro. You're a weird person.
Stop.
She want to hurt him, bro.
Stop. We're gonna play it again because it might have went over some people's heads. So, what I got from the video, at some point he shared with her his longing to be with his father, which most Black men feel that way at some point, whether your father's in the house or not. Because I remember years ago, Captain Zakar did a class about fatherhood. He said you can be a daddy, a father, or what? There was another one. There's 3 different types of men you could be. The daddy, like what is it?
He lived in the house, but he don't.
Brother, Mike is right here.
Oh my bad.
Yeah.
What was it?
I'll tell what.
Good.
Oh, it was like he lived. The daddy lives in the house, but he don't do nothing.
He just buy stuff for you.
Right.
Stuff
You
like
can
that.
be the father that that raises and do these other things, or it was something like a living. It was 3 type of men. They're all in that household, but they
had different functional roles.
Yes. So, so as men, we always want that manly figure to help guide us. I mean, I can speak for myself. I can't. I don't know if anybody else feel that way.
We needed it.
But you want, and I've mentioned a ton of times on the show. It was my uncle. It was my own. He turned to crack. But the point is, there's that yearning, whether you verbally tell someone or you keep it internal, but it's there. It's there. So it seems to me that he might have expressed it to his girlfriend, because the beginning of the video, so I want to go back to the beginning. They're laughing.
Right.
So it was some joke going on, and she went straight below the belt.
That's that line Kevin Samuel was talking about.
Yeah.
As
men, don't fight fair.
As men,
talk just like women.
Me and Officer Solomon was talking about this this week, like how a woman, like Kevin was Kevin Samuel was saying there's a line with men that you don't cross with no man, because at certain point it's gonna be like, well then, nigga, let's just fight, because
there's no resolving this.
There's no other way, And what she did is she crossed that line, and which is the point of the video why you can't be vulnerable to these women or I ain't gonna say these women, to this type of personality, because they will weaponize your hurt. That's why I said she wants to hurt him.
That's what it is.
Weaponize your hurt. Yeah, I like that.
She really wants to hurt this guy. You know what I'm saying? And the best way, because whatever he said something about her that was the joke.
Right.
And that was her response to being.
After this man done walked around Target with your ass pushing that big
Target,
red
right.
car.
I ain't walking to Target.
But again, that's a female thing. How we weaponize is with our words, because we can't physically beat you. You know what I'm saying? So if push come to shove, if he go bopping upside her head, but again, our words. So that's how we fight.
So you know what I think I'm starting to see with this, as the video that we played before this. We, without the scriptures, without the truth of what the Most High God need us to know, we are very ineffective at problem solving. I would say hardly do we guess it right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we really don't know what we doing out here, right? But it looks like that we're scrambling to have a real conversation to try to fix the trauma, but we don't have the necessary skills to complete the task. So it's men trying to talk like men that have been raised by women. So they're having a back and forth bickering with another woman about,
Right.
you know, because we was like the conversation that me and Solomon was having was like women talk more than they communicate.
Yes.
So they're saying things, but it's not the real issue. They're just saying all of these other emotional things. Like in this conversation, I can only hypothetically say, rather than her saying that was a messed up comment what you said about me, she goes, that's why your daddy hates you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's not communication. That's just her using words, but the problem's not going to be solved. Can I get a script? Okay. Let me get Romans 12. Now this is dealing with the church, but this is some tools to help with trauma and learning to deal with each other, learning to whether it be learn to communicate, learn to function with each other, learn how to cohabitate, do these things that we need to be better. Read that, Romans 12, start at 10.
Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another.
So this is how we actually have to be with the women and the men of our nation. We have to have a kind of affection towards each other, preferring each other. Like, okay, you are the one that the Most High gave me. You other Israelite, whether Israelite man and woman, we are a pair. You know what I'm saying? This is how this is supposed to work. Read on.
Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit.
Jump down to 16 for me.
Verse 16. Be of the same mind one toward another.
So that's us having to try to learn about the trauma that we're dealing with. Like, okay, I got to try to see your perspective. Learn how to talk to you. Learn how to see the things that have affected you. So, you know, when you when you move a certain way, I can kind of understand that thing.
And learn how to season your words with salt.
Right.
On both parts.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Read.
Mind not high things.
Right. Read.
But condescend to men of low estate.
So guess what? You might have a better relationship, or you may know how to deal with your situations better. But guess what? Now you come down to this person to help, like what Captain said, season your word with salt. But guess what? You bring yourself down to a position where you're not high-minded and looking like, oh, you dumb as hell. You can't. When the guy was getting ready to tell the sister about when the men are in the room, she was ready to attack.
Right.
She was ready to attack. But he said, you got to come and bring yourself down to, you know, their level. But these are the tools that we're going to have in this conversation, because that's what the guy was saying. You want me to view you a certain way, but when it comes to you viewing me, then it's hands off. You could say anything you want to say about me. That's not this.
Right.
That's not this at all. Right. You know what I'm saying? So these are like some of the things that, even though, this is talking about the church, but we are the people, we are the church. And these are some of the things that we would have to try to apply to ourselves to actually have this real conversation. But without the word of God, you don't have the necessary tools.
Hey, Ezekiel 16, start at verse 44. Because we when I tell you we got to do better on all fronts, man, even the way that brothers and sisters deal with each other in the congregation, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. We have to start doing better. Go ahead, read that.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 44.
Read.
Behold, everyone that uses the proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
So a lot of times the things that sisters hate that their mothers have done to them, they either become that exactly or overcompensate by being a polar opposite, which is just as bad as what your mother was. Go ahead.
Thou art thy mother's daughter.
Now here's the point. This is the point. You are your mother's daughter. Go ahead.
That loatheth her husband.
That's the point. Listen, if we gotta stop throwing things in each other's faces as a way of winning an argument. So like we were talking about earlier, Officer Carmel, I think Officer Alicia, you could be 100% right, but the way you handle it is 100% wrong. Because there's times when I'm counseling and a brother will say, yeah, you know, she said this, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, sis, did you say that? Yeah, I was out the spirit. You got to think about this. Is in that heat of the moment, is it going to help your marriage or hurt your marriage? Is my next comment, is this with her saying this to this brother in the parking lot, even after she sees his initial reaction? Remember, he said, and you still going, bruh? Yeah. That's what he said. He's like, okay, so you see that it's bothering me, and you still keep poking the bear? Poking the bear. Poking the bear. He's like, man, I'll take an Uber home. I don't want to ride with you. So read the top part of that again, verse 45.
Yes, sir, verse 45. Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband.
That hates her husband. If you know that there's, I've said a ton of times, there's things that you got to hold near and dear to you that you don't reveal to your wife. I mentioned it some time ago. My wife was like, you know what? All these years we've been together, I don't even know what you're scared of.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And you never will know, sister.
I'm good.
And you never will know. I'm talking about years together. But it's not the fact, it's not a lack of trust. Right. It's just, I know there's things that can be said in the spur of a moment. Yo, big ass scared of little ass spiders.
But that's scripture though. And the Bible says to not give person power over you.
Yeah. But my point is, in knowing how anybody can weaponize something you say. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody. You see this nigga Tyrone in here just trying to take everything we saying out of context, trying to weaponize it. But my point is, there's no need to use that against the one who you claim to the world that you love. Yeah, you understand the point? So that comes from levels of trauma as well. It comes from levels of trauma. Finish that.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband and her children.
So we've been watching. The daughter says, you picking this man over me? How does she feel about her daughter? She really hates her daughter.
Yeah.
She hates her daughter. Damn. She hates her daughter. Go ahead.
And thou art the sister of thy sisters.
Right. So we know this is going into Northern Kingdom, things of that nature. But for face value, you know what it's double meaning. It's talking about the actual women during this time, in the time of Babylon, being conquered by the nations. There's a certain mindset that came about when you're conquered. When you're defeated by a people, it brings about a traumatic, Stockholm syndrome that brings forth defense mechanisms. That brings forth a way for you to coping mechanisms is even better. How do I cope with this trauma? Some is drinking, some is drugs, some is comfort in a bunch of women.
Some is food.
And then some of it is anger. Oh, you said food. I just caught that. Some is food. Some is the nightlife. So you go out drinking drug every Friday and Saturday night to complain you're broke all week, only to go back and do it the next week again. All right. Damn. That's a way for you to cope with it. Right. You want to act like this world doesn't exist. When you're in that club and the music and the lights and the smoke, it takes you out of your reality. So we all have coping mechanisms that we use to deal with this captivity. And here we're reading in Babylon, this is how sister dealt. The way they dealt with it was through hatred. They hated their husband. Like, why didn't you protect me from the Babylonians? Right. Why didn't you protect me from the Europeans that came? Why didn't you protect me from the conquistadors? The hatred is there. And you transcend that hatred to your children. You look like your damn daddy. Y'all understand that? Yeah. It's a generational perpetuation. Thank you. You know, I went to public school. Perpetuation of the traumas. It's handed down, so that even that term, you look like your daddy. That's telling you the relationship me and your father had was so broken and filled with trauma looking at you reminds me of him. And every time I look at you, I think about the trauma. I was a one-night stand, or he beat me, or whatever the case may be. This type of thing riddles our community so much. We are today in our repentive state going to clean up the minds of our people.
That's right.
So what are we showing? We showing it's more than just our people eating pork. We're talking about some deep-rooted issues.
Right.
Deep-rooted that Captain Yadin did a class, 3 types of man? 3 faces of man? 3 faces of man. There's the man that no one barely knows, if I'm not mistaken. No one barely knows. There's the man that you present yourself to be, and there's the man that, how does it go? Somebody, who saw it? It's basically, it's almost like your representative.
Right.
Then there's the one that people you let into your circle, come to your house, things of that nature. And there's the one that nobody knows about.
Right.
That guy that you don't reveal to nobody.
Yeah, he ain't came out on PSR yet.
He ain't come out on PSR yet. Sisters, when you're proven, that's not the guy you're meeting. You're not meeting the guy that nobody knows. You're meeting the representative, or you're meeting the brother that lets people into his inner circle. You're not meeting that guy that nobody knows. So just keep that in mind, and vice versa. Brothers, you're not meeting that sister that nobody knows. Remember that.
Remember, they still hide. They still in there. It's some parts to that, to us, that even when you married, you got that thing that you was a teenager, you like, I never tell. I'm taking this one to
I'm taking this one to the grave. You know? Hey, Pickleys. Hey, let's go back out real quick. Oh, you want to play that again, or are we good?
Hey, can I get a script to go with that right quick, Cal? It's gonna be fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sirach 27:21, and this for this situation right here, man. Like,
was that what I'm looking for? Also, listen, Tyrone asking for the link.
The link for what?
Come on.
yeah, okay.
We ready?
Shut your ass up. Might think about Tyrone.
No, they telling them
we dealing with the real issues of our people, man.
Right.
I don't give a damn about no scoffing ass Tyrone that's here every single week.
And every Saturday and Sunday.
Every Sabbath.
You gotta be like the biggest loser
Ever.
He be on Friday night, bro.
You on every
Yeah,
day.
it's like, when do you sleep?
Just hoping somebody gives a damn about you. Like, come on.
Tyrone got trauma. He needs some friends.
Hey, go sit on a white man's couch, Tyrone.
Nigga, shut up!
Shut your black lips. Hey, read that
for me.
They clone Tyrone.
Ecclesiastes chapter 27, verse 21. As for a wound, it may be bound up, and after reviling, there may be reconcilement.
So the Lord he's giving us an analogy, and it goes with what this sister was doing. He said, you can injure yourself and you can be repaired. He said you could get in an argument with somebody, and you could Matthew 18 that situation and reconcile it, and you could win your brother over. Read on.
But he that bewrayeth secrets is without hope.
That sister, he will never trust her.
Yeah.
He will never trust her. And that goes the same for you brothers, because guess what? The Lord tell us you have a counselor, one of 1,000, because you might have a brother that, guess what, you have to reveal some stuff to, because the Lord tell us we have to sometimes reveal the stuff that we may be healed. We have to, you got to speak about some of this stuff. The white man got a couch, but the Lord gave us that. He said, hey, you got to talk to your brother that you may be healed. But you go around and you telling this man the stuff that he told you, trying to come out of the issues that he have, and you come around and you whispering about it to everybody, or even if it's not everybody, someone other than him.
Right.
Because it was never for you to reveal to anybody else. The Lord say when you deal with something like that, he said you without hope. That person don't trust you. You're untrustworthy. Right. Like, bro, like you a useless ass nigga. I'm just using plain terms. If you go around telling with, you know what I'm saying, that somebody confided in you, and you use that and you weaponize that, and you ain't.
It tells you that in Sirach 22 about you lose a friend for revealing secrets.
I know it's in Proverbs 1 that say that.
It says It's along the lines of what you said. We don't got to go to it. I think it's in 22, but it tells you that, okay. Back to my original point. So
I think it's verse 22. 22 and 22.
22. Yeah, that's it. Oh shit! Damn, right there. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes chapter 20.
Sorry. My bad. Just to go with what Officer said, 21.
Ecclesiastes chapter 22, verse 21. Though thou drewest a sword at thy friend, yet despair not, for there may be a returning to favor.
It says you could have drew a sword to your friend, pull a knife, pull a gun on your friend. It says that friend loves that bond so much, he'll let that go. And you're able to win that for, damn, my bad,
like
bro.
David?
Yeah, like David. Right, like David. He'll be able to forgive you, but keep reading.
If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not.
So even if you said some stuff in the absence of your friend that wasn't comely, it wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for?
It wasn't cool.
Yeah, it wasn't cool. You lame as hell. Go ahead.
For there may be a reconciliation.
So you may be able to mend that bond. You said something crazy like, yo, bro, you said that about me? Bro, my bad, bro. I was drinking. Mom, go ahead.
Except for upbraiding or pride or disclosing of secrets.
You see that thing? Mm-hmm. The Bible says you could draw a weapon on your friend and they'll forgive you. You could speak evil of your friend and they could forgive you. But when you reveal secrets, you can lose that friend.
That's it. You gotta finish reading that, Cassie. You gotta finish reading that.
Go ahead.
Or a treacherous wound.
So now, not only did you draw a sword, you used it, or that what you said, that disclosing of secret, left a gaping hole, like we just talked about with this brother. Mm-hmm. You could see, like, he's laughing 1 minute, he's like,
right,
like, damn, like how Caleb sleep right now.
Damn,
you know, it's like a
David Ophir.
It's like a that damn yeah. David Ophir.
They were whispering in his ear.
David Ophir tipped something in his drink with his flip flops on.
David Ophir.
When you see the flip flop split like that, man,
no more balance in them feet.
He on his third dream right now.
He done lost all control of his body. It's just flopping now.
He said, "My feet ain't even gonna stay balanced on this flip flop." His joint like an X. He throwing up DMX symbols right now. Go ahead. I'll read that.
For these things, every friend.
It says, for these things, every single friend you have. If you did these things to every single friend, go ahead.
Will depart.
They're gonna leave you.
They're done.
They're done. Your friendship is over.
Never be the same.
You like you just mentioned. He'll never trust you the same. Never, ever, ever trust you the same. So we have to be mindful of these traumatic relationships. These traumatic parent social relationships, these social relationships. We got to be very mindful of that, man. There's a lot of trauma that when we deal with each other in the midst of that. But real quick, I know Pickleys you might have to hold on for a second, Pickleys. I want to get some more of these articles. So, go up a little bit. You see something? Go up. Oh, that's the top? Go down to me. Go down.
That's it?
Oh, that's it. Okay. So now.
We almost made it. Damn.
Hey, almost. Go over to far right. Far right. Yeah, let's play that. Because there's some stuff we didn't know. We always learn something on PSR. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Was first developed in a chemistry lab at Harvard.
Start it over. Go back to the beginning.
Bro.
Was first developed in a chemistry lab at Harvard University for the express purpose of...
Why is it not saying napalm? Go back.
When napalm was first developed in a chemistry lab at Harvard University for the express purpose of burning Japanese cities, because Japanese cities were tinderboxes, cities made of wood.
Stop. So, I knew about napalm during the Vietnam War.
Right.
They were dropping napalm.
Right, okay.
Napalm was created for Japan.
Sticky gas.
Specifically. At Harvard.
Okay, go back again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When napalm was first developed in a chemistry lab at Harvard University for the express purpose of burning Japanese cities, because Japanese cities were tinderboxes, cities made of wood. It was tested in the Utah desert on a replica Japanese village. And they launched napalm raids on those houses and sat and observed and took notes on their stopwatches, noted how long it took for a firestorm to reduce those buildings to rubble.
So there's a video out now gaining a lot of steam where this analyst says that them testing weapons or atomic bombs on cities, he's debunking it. He said, how can the camera withstand an atomic bomb? So on and so forth. Officer Ryan said he saw it.
Yeah, because the camera was stable the whole time.
The camera was stable. It wasn't atomic bomb testing that they were viewing. It was napalm testing. They weren't able to judge the power of atomic bombs at the time.
Right.
They made it, and the testing ground was Japan. So go back a second and play it again.
How long it took for a firestorm to reduce those buildings to rubble. There was nothing about these attacks on Japan that came as a surprise to the military leadership. We set a torch to every single major city in Japan that summer, with the exception of 2 cities, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which we decided to drop an atomic bomb on. It's a scale of destruction almost unmatched in human history.
So, well, no, not really, because the transatlantic slave trade was far worse. But my point is this. These are things that we have never heard about. We always know about Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I never heard
So,
this.
you know, we got to verify. We got to make sure, like, wait, is this dude on here talking crap? So
he looks weird.
We look, yes. We said, let's look into it a little bit. So let's read what we got.
One of the most destructive acts of war in history. More destructive than the bombing of...
No, from the top.
Yes, sir. Bombing of Tokyo, March 9th through the 10th, 1945. Firebombing raid, code name Operation Meeting House.
So, Operation Meeting House. They burning houses, but they say we meet in the house. Okay, go ahead.
The United States on the capital of Japan during the final stages of World War II. Often cited as one of the most destructive acts of war in history. More destructive than the bombing of Dresden, Hiroshima, or Nagasaki.
So, here's the thing. Hiroshima and Nagasaki's bomb damn near destroyed the entire city in one failing swoop. So how many bombs did they drop again? I think it was like 300 and something. In one of the articles we saw. 300 napalm. How many?
I go up?
Yeah, go ahead, read that.
334.
Yes, Operation Meeting House on the night of March 9th, 1945. 334 B-20. I'm sorry.
334.
334 B-29s took off to raid with 279 of them, dropping 1,664 tons of bombs on Tokyo. The bombs were mostly the 500-pound, 230 kg E-46 cluster bomb, which released 38 napalm carrying M69 incendiary bomblets at an altitude of 2,000 to 2,500 feet.
So they dropped multiple bombs all over Tokyo, Japan, which set it ablaze. Now, because remember, Tokyo was the more populated city.
Right.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was a concentrated bomb, far more powerful than all the others. The others, they just dropped on more highly populated areas. Okay. So they covered everything. So all these years, I watched the movie Pearl Harbor.
I've seen it too.
No
mention at all.
I never heard about napalm.
And then 5 months later,
okay,
then you drop the atomic bomb.
Isaiah 54:16, real quick.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
In the what?
In the fire.
In the what?
In the fire.
Japan was filled with fire, both from the atomic bomb and the napalm bombs they created for Japan specifically. They were just making, and here's the thing about a smith. A smith doesn't only make one weapon.
don't.
Nah, he make
make
all
all
kind
of
of
them.
stuff.
He make
He
all of
make
them.
a multitude of weapons.
That means he is just proficient in those particular elements. Whatever element that you give him, let's say for instance, if a smith deals with iron, he know how to make swords, he know how to make axes, he know how to make chains, he know how to make clasp bracelets. He know how to use that metal. When these men were smiths of war, bruh, they know how to use that dang material, bruh. They held with, like, who think of sticky fire?
Right.
Who think of it's fire, but it's gonna stick to you like oil and you can't wipe it off?
Do nothing. Damn. It burn. It just incinerates everything. Hey, read that real quick.
This is the bombing of Tokyo.
No, finish that. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
It says it bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Go ahead.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
So wait, hold on.
The scripture even gives it along the lines of how they did it.
Yes.
The fire first and then the bomb.
Can we get a bomb on that?
Hit him with the napalm.
It showed the progression.
Started
and
with
this
the fire.
one verse shows the progression of their weaponry.
Started with the napalm and then got to the waster.
Read that real quick, and then we're gonna move on. We got a couple. Damn. Okay, sorry, Captain Joel. Go ahead.
Bombing of Tokyo, unknown.
Oh, no, you might not. Okay, go ahead.
I think it's 130, right?
No, go ahead.
Bombing of Tokyo, unknown. Conservative estimates suggest that the firestorm caused by incendiary bombs killed at least 80,000 people.
Ooh.
And likely more than 100,000 in a single night. Some 1 million people were left homeless. The Japanese later called this the night of the black snow.
The night of the black snow. Let's go back out.
That shit was raining
The
soot on
things you
their
don't
ass.
learn in school.
You know, they don't teach you a damn thing. We've gone over the education system here too, right?
He just put it on the internet when he done. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, by the way.
We black snowed
So
there.
let's go to something else we never learned. Far left. And then we'll end it with we'll end it with Candace, but go ahead.
Gonna blow your mind. So when a billionaire donates to charity, that money goes straight back into their pockets. I'm Vincent Chan, ex-Wall Street, helping you live a wealthier and healthier life. So you know when the super rich, like Jeff Bezos, they donate $2.4 billion to charity or commits to donating $10 billion to so-and-so, they still keep the money. The best example, Mark Zuckerberg. So Marky Mark said...
Stop.
Yep, that's real.
Marky
Stop.
Mark. How you give away money and keep it?
Because we always hear about their huge philanthropy,
So
right?
charitable.
He's just an awesome guy for humanity. Philanthropist, Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whatever. You know what's so funny? You know how long they've been doing these various levels of evil and we're just finding out about it?
Right.
Go back a few seconds. Just right, real quick. Go ahead.
$4 billion to charity or commits to donating $10 billion to so-and-so, they still keep the money. The best example, Mark Zuckerberg. So Marky Mark said he was going to give away 99% of his Facebook shares during the Chan Zuckerberg initiative, which I have nothing to do with despite the last name. Now, he makes it seem like he was being super generous, but those shares just goes to an LLC that he owns. And he can use that donated money to donate to for-profit companies that he owns, or to political parties, or even pay for his staff. In other words, he can do whatever he wants with this donated charity money. But wait, it gets worse. In addition to being a major PR stunt, it also saves them a ton of money because they get tax benefits for making these donations.
Wow.
So now,
So you get,
Yep.
bro, they frame myth just by law, bro.
Hey,
You
bring that scripture out.
bro.
What that Psalms 94?
Bruh, these niggas hell, bruh. How you donate the money, keep the money, then get a tax break on the money that you didn't even give away?
You just donated into one of your shell companies. Yeah. So you donated it. So once you donated it into that company, which is still yours, you can now do whatever you want to it, and it's not taxable.
It's not my money
because it's technically a donation.
It's not my money. I mean, it's in an account, but it's not my money.
Yeah, I still got the card, the debit card
not my
for
money,
it,
though.
but it's not my money.
You don't find that suspicious?
And then they gonna
Esau
say,
don't.
well, since you donated, then that means you didn't make $100 billion this year, so we're gonna, let you only pay on.
So then when
$600 million.
when they put forth things like new and they say, remember he said it's a PR stunt. Remember we went over Bill Gates one time, and it said that he went into, what is he into? Microsoft and all of that. He went from that into philanthropy to change his image.
Oh yeah, because he was getting sued or
Yes,
something was
he
happening.
Yes, because he was stealing people's ideas and they were suing him, and he was looking like the villain of the tech world. So in order, because he was taking people's ideas and their companies and just buying them up and not giving them any credit, he was getting a bad rap. So he turned into a philanthropist in order to change his image. All of a sudden, his image changed so much now he could give our children medication.
He's such a good guy.
He's such a good guy. They now consider him on the level with a medical doctor.
Let him shoot you. He built computers. I'm pretty sure he's good.
Okay, you say you had a script? Somebody said
Psalm 94.
Oh, yeah, Psalm 94. Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
That's what, like, the Lord actually had to say, like, dang, can this level of evil even coexist with righteous people? These people frame all their evil with laws, policies, like they set it up that they can do this evil and there's nothing you could do about it. Like, how can you coexist with somebody that has this level of maliciousness that's just like to take it to a point where they say, let's make sure you write it out so there's no confusion.
Right. It's just like child support. Technically, child support is not law.
Right.
It operates under the color of law. So everything that they enforce is not law. It sits under Title 42, and Title 42 was never enacted into positive law.
So they just say stuff, and then you be like, "Yep," and they be like,
"Because we don't read."
You got Jews locked up behind that, and it's not even a law.
Something that ain't even real.
Damn. Let's just play this real quick.
Dirty mother. You gotta laugh at Esau, bro.
I thought shedding was a conspiracy theory. Shedding is the transmission of vaccine virus strains from vaccinees, that are people that are choosing to get this vaccine, to non-vaccinated contacts. And that is on this FDA insert for the rotavirus vaccine. Under section 5.5, it says transmission of vaccine virus strains from vaccinees to non-vaccinated contacts has been observed post-marketing. Wow. This means that if you get the rotavirus vaccine, you can actually shed it to me.
I want y'all.
That's crazy. That's like the movie Outbreak.
I want y'all to see the depths of Satan.
Yeah. Rubbing a virus on somebody on your.
Like Grandma said,
on the commute to work, you on the train.
Yeah.
You on the bus.
Hit you with that
He said, "Listen, I'm impose this new world order, whether you like it or not."
What the hell is this?
I don't get you in the wash, I get you in the rinse.
There's another video we have when they put it in the plans. We can't go through it right now. They put it in the plans. They're gonna put it in the
plans.
meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Plant-based.
That's there. It's gonna be. They're infusing it into plant life.
Yes, we around here drinking candy.
All you vegans, you think you safe?
So you got to think about this.
Damn.
In order for them to impose certain edicts going forward, they have to have control over something. And there's nothing better than two things: your money and your food. Your money
centralized
and your
digital
food.
currency.
Yep. They're putting you got to see how the ducks are being lined up. The ducks are being lined up to make sure they control your food and your money.
Yeah, Fed now launched last week.
Yeah.
Damn.
Get this Fed money.
Right. But I think we're gonna end the show there.
Hey, y'all give a round of applause for that traumatic show today here on Patient Saves Radio. Guess what? If you got trauma, we got somewhere for you. Go to IsraelUnite.org and find the nearest IUIC hospital near you where you could go and get yourself fixed from some of that trauma that you got. Hey, and if you can't do that, we got IUIC TV for a monthly subscription of $1.99. You can have access to exclusive content not found anywhere else on this planet. Hey, we got multiple YouTube channels where you can learn all day and day, every dang day. If you want to help donate and make Patient Saints Radio an even better radio show, because we got Officer Uzziah now, and surely he can use more equipment as good as he is. You can donate at iuic.atlanta@israelunite.org. Make sure to put Patient Saints Radio or PSR in the comments. And if you want to help keep the prophets doing what they doing around the globe, you can do so at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Cap.
Hey, we want to thank all the brothers behind the scenes. Officers Adonaiah, Heman, Uzziah, RL, David Ophir.
Damn, David
Ophir. Caleb, Soldiers Patil, Soldiers Aithan, Brother Aiden, and the sisters. Thank you to Sister Yohavid, Sister Miriam, and Sister Courtney in the kitchen. Breakfast was great. I want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Patient Saints Radio. And Lord's will, we'll see you next week. This is our missing persons segment of the show. Our brothers and sisters who are missing in our communities, let's keep an eye out for them. Let's search diligently for them, that we can help return them to their families. If you've seen any of these brothers, any of these sisters, please contact the local authorities. With that, we say shalom.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom, y'all.
Have no idea what the truth is. That's why we're out here, to give you the truth. Psalms chapter 119 verse 142. Read. Psalms chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy love is the